Okay, this is Rocky Flats from Greenlight Radio. I am sitting backstage at the Boulder Theatre with Oscar. What's your last name, Oscar?
Davey Raitt.
How do you say it?
Davey Raitt.
Davey Raitt, who is AKA Opiuo. Now, first off, welcome to Boulder.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Now, we were just talking earlier. You have played the Boulder Theatre before, but not in a long time.
I don't want to say the wrong thing that I have and I haven't, but I'm pretty sure in 2012 I played with Vibe Squad here.
Gotcha.
On a tour we were on. Definitely played Boulder. I'm just trying to remember if it's this venue.
Is the venue or not?
Pretty sure. I remember the green room's kind of downstairs.
It's the same owner for all of them, so it doesn't really matter now.
Right. I played one. No, but I'm pretty sure it was. And yeah, I wanted to come back. It's been a long time.
Nice. Okay, so I have some questions written out here for you that are basic introductory questions to kind of get our listeners to know more about you. I also have a bunch of our listeners that absolutely love you. So for the sake of our ticket winners, there's three women and a band called Sass Factory. I wanted to let you know that they absolutely love you.
Okay.
And they'll be here tonight dancing their ass off tonight.
Nice. Cool.
Okay, first off, you hail from Australia, is that correct?
No, from New Zealand.
New Zealand, okay.
But I live in Australia.
Okay, see, this is the Wikipedia part I was talking about.
Yeah. That's the mystery part that I was talking about. I grew up in New Zealand and moved to Australia in 2005.
Okay, okay. How long have you been making music for?
A long time. I would have made my first track on the computer probably for 2002, maybe.
Okay.
So it's like 16, 17 years ago. And I was just playing around for many years. And it wasn't until 2007, I think, when I finished something that I was proud of, sent it to my favorite DJ. They liked it. Kind of gave me some confidence, and took a couple of years I was DJing a lot. Started DJing when I was 14, and it was 20 years ago.
Right.
And just playing around the area at festivals that were held on my parents' land or friends of theirs.
Nice. When did you start touring nationally and then internationally?
That would have been 2009, so 10 years ago. I came over here in 2010, so 9 years ago. Yeah.
Now you work with a band too, as well.
I have, yes, yes. Not currently, but I do. Have in the past. I kind of have too much of a OCD reality, and I kind of got to keep moving forward and changing things. I still think I'll do the band someday, but it's not gone. I did it for a few years and loved it, and wanted to end on loving it. I didn't want to ever get burnt out from it, so it was a shitload of fun.
Now, going to your music, what are some just basic inspirations for your music? What are some artists that inspire you, or just basic music styles even?
Music's a funny one because I get inspired by random things, like maybe even listen to a singer-songwriter and just these cool harmonies or something, and that'll maybe inspire me for a pad of sound or a build-up intro to a song. And then the other end of the spectrum, crazy, insane, heavy drum and bass by Noisier or something like that. That's just the sound design's incredible, so I want to make a bass noise like that. Right. There's a lot of young, incredible kids from the UK, like Con Sound, and then Vorso is a really new one as well, whose just sound design's insane. So I hear that and it's like, wow, it's just delicious and tasty. And then a sunrise will inspire me.
Sure.
It's like I try not to think too much about what I'm taking from it at that time. I just take it and run with it.
Right. Just feel the feel and go with it, basically. Yeah. So you started DJing before you got into band music, or do you play instruments?
No, I played in bands through my early high school, until probably midway through high school.
What'd you play?
Drums.
Drums? Nice.
Yeah, I learned drums from when I was pretty young, and apparently my mum told me a few years ago that I first played drums when I was 2 on one of their friends' knees at a gig that I was at. So
makes sense for the beats you make.
Yeah. It's been in my blood for a long time.
Do you find that you're more percussion oriented in your music writing?
I like to use the sounds of instruments and bass hits and different things in a really percussive way to give it the groove and the rhythm.
I've definitely noticed in the electronic scene, when it comes to your beats, you use a little bit more complexity.
Yeah, well, the actual drums are really simple.
Right.
If you listen to it, but it comes across a bit more complex because all the other things are giving the rhythm.
I guess maybe it's more that the rhythm feels percussive.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But I think that's what kind of works. I just did it by chance, just trying things out, and it seemed to work for myself and then others. And yeah, I think keeping the drums really simple and using everything else to give it its groove allows you to not think about what's going on in the rhythm section as much, so you just can follow it.
Do you find yourself how many projects do you work on at one time? Are you just on one album every so often, or are you constantly kind of weeding through?
I'm always writing music.
Right.
Just depends. Sometimes it takes a couple of months to be on the road and work on projects that are more touring side of things. Then I'll go home and, I like to write mostly at home. On the road, I like to work on being on the road. I don't try and
write on the road.
Bury myself with having to finish lots of songs on the road, because it's just, I don't really feel like I have the mind space to do it.
Sure.
So when I go home, I make sure I have time to actually be in my studio and lock myself in there and go for it. And it's kind of like, I'm never working on one thing at a time, I don't think. No, it's always multiple. If I'm deciding to work on an album, I'll be working on that. But some of the music that I write is just for the dance floor, and it'll never come out because it's right. I can't just go deep on one thing that maybe isn't for the dance floor. I need to write something super banging at the same time.
Right. Do you ever record some of those things that you'll never release? Just keep them on your own archives?
In what, when the songs exist, I write them and play them, and maybe one day I'll do a B-sides thing or a mix or something, because I've got a lot that there's tracks in my set that I would play randomly that were from 6 years ago.
Gotcha.
But they never come out.
So you are archiving everything, at least for yourself.
Yeah, they exist in the sphere of computers and online.
You'll find it somewhere.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
The backup hard drive from 20 years ago.
Right. Now, you're actually known, at least by your fan base, as showing a lot of appreciation to your fans during your shows. Mm-hmm. Now, is that something... what are you feeling when you're doing that in your shows? What's going through your soul,
I can't believe that it still goes, people, like even tonight, sold out. It's been sold out for more than a week. Yeah. People are spending their hard-earned money to come see me play my music on the other side of the world. It still spins me out, it's not I get even shivers thinking about it. It's like not even a thing that should be taken for granted ever. I see when you can get complacent with things and be really tired some days, so you don't really take them in as much. But at the end of the day, it's a very fortunate reality, and I want people to know that, because I'll never get sick of it. It's an incredible thing.
Yeah. What are some artists that you're working with that you've ever toured with that you find that you just like?
Oh, I love so many people. It's a really cool collection list. Yeah, it really is. I wouldn't even know where to start. It's just from the beginning till now. You're just always meeting incredible people, and that's another really fortunate reality to be in. To travel around the world, and most of the people you meet wherever you are have some similar reality to you through your music and through all those things, and they might not even speak the same language. And
still connect.
Music goes,
the dance and the song.
Yeah.
How do you connect with your fans other than obviously playing music and connecting through dance and songs? Is there other routes that you take to connect to your fan base?
Well, I think there's it's a funny thing when you're... The one thing you have to be really careful about when you're on the road is your energy levels, and spending a lot of time with people is actually the most tiring thing. Playing a lot of shows, I can do that. I can keep my mental stability and do it, but spending more than maybe post-show, half an hour with people at the merch booth and doing that kind of stuff, on top of that, it's a lot of work, and when you're playing every night and doing it, I would love to be able to hang out with everyone for a lot longer. I really would, truly. But you just have to maintain. You have to be able to do it the next day. You have to be able to keep going and staying positive and happy and that sort of things. And I have had times when I've nearly burnt out because I've tried to spend more time with as many people as I could and hang out at the after party and then go, whatever. It's like, I think it's to be able to give your best every show and to hang out with those people for that moment, you've really got to keep hold of that. So I actually do want to do more stuff online, and I always... But it's funny, I go home and then I get in the studio and I don't even turn the internet on for days and days.
That's good though.
Good. So I think it's a good balance, because when I'm here, I'm present and I'm here. That's important.
Yeah. Where can people find out more about you online? Speaking of which,
through my website is a pathway to some of it, but then
is that just Opiuo.com?
Yeah.
I figured that name was available.
Links there's shows, there's all that kind of stuff. But there's I think we need to get a Wikipedia page.
Right. Get that rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a lot of off-the-wall questions here that come from some of our fans, because we can ask our fan base.
Cool.
So they're going to be really random. First off, do you believe in aliens?
I actually honestly think everything's possible, and I don't know if it's necessarily a certain type of being. I feel that the chance that there's something even in the vicinity of the lifetimes of light years close to our planet that has evolved to be existing at the exact same time as we are right now is nearly impossible, but I would never say anything's impossible. That's my slightly more scientific mind or something coming from that. But fuck, everything is possible. So they could be right there, and we meet them soon. You know, I'm down.
Everyone asks that question for every artist, and that was the first time I've had a scientifically more reasonable answer for sure. Usually it's like, oh yeah, man, I've met them.
But you know, that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's people on this planet that are out there, and I don't ever take it away from their own power and their own epicness, but sometimes you feel like there's something else is at play. You know, whether fuck knows, it's amazing. Right. I like the infinite possibility of everything is possible until I actually see it.
Exactly. Do you have a political stance in this day and age?
Look, I have a political stance on compassion. I don't think people should be anything else but kind and good to each other, and if someone disagrees with that, then I disagree with their political stance.
Fair enough.
I think, you know, there are decisions you have to make that are tough, and some people will always lose out because that's the way it is. But I think if you're doing it at the basis of pushing something forward that is just purely to make other people feel worse, then fuck you.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you feel about people stealing your music off the internet?
And I mean, there's a funny thing with music. I feel like if you don't have the means to be able to purchase it financially, you know, whatever it is, then cool. I don't mind. I'd rather you listen to it. If you're doing really well and you're spending millions of dollars on cars and then you go and steal someone's work, then I don't agree with that.
Fair enough.
I think Spotify serves an amazing purpose. I use it as well, and I discover music through there. I still think if you are a huge, insane fan of something, and even if you wouldn't listen to the record, buy the record, because it does support people. If you have the money, you know, it's the price of a couple of coffees, whatever. But I feel like, if that's what they need to do, that's what they need to do. I'm not going to stop them. I'd rather them listen to the music than not. But if you're in a position to support it, you should. Simple as that.
Good answer. Let's see, another one. Okay, this one's a little deeper. In the electronic scene, like many other scenes, there are known to be various substances used at shows, but primarily psychedelic drugs. And this may be leading to a new understanding of these kind of substances. Being at the forefront of these kind of experiences for some of these people, how do you feel about the use of such substances at your shows?
Psychedelics?
Yeah.
I think that's a personal choice. I think if you want to venture in that world, I think there is a part of it where it is beneficial to some people and not to others. I don't disagree if you want to take it. It's fine.
This state's looking at legalizing mushrooms soon, so...
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of those things will help treat anxiety and help treat depression, and that's incredible. I don't think that should ever be looked past, you know. But, you know, there's that fine line. There's some people who can take it their whole lives and a lot of it and still maintain an incredible existence, and there's some people that just have that one too many, and you know, so you just really got to know yourself, be around your friends, treat it like it is something powerful, and take your time and learn about it, you know. Set
and setting, that's what I hear from a lot of those people. Good set and setting. What is this one? Oh, are you a parent? Do you have kids?
I have a stepdaughter though.
You have a stepdaughter? How old is your stepdaughter?
6.
What's it like being a father figure?
It's incredibly humbling and awesome. You learn a lot, and I think it's an important role to do as well. You know, if you do have a lot of experiences and a lot of things to give to the younger people, then I think it's, you know, I'm excited about being able to teach things and show them the way, you know, my way, and they're going to discover their own. But no, it's I think it's great. I think, I don't think it's for everyone as well, but I think if you do have the opportunity, I think respect it and treat it with a lot of time and give them all your energy when you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. What's the future of Opiuo? Where do you see yourself going?
In that way.
That way. Forward.
Yeah.
Forward.
I've always kind of been a little. Tomorrow I might wake up and think I'm going to make an album and it's going to be in this direction. I'm going to do this, and I wouldn't have thought about it yesterday, or I'm going to go and design this show. When I did Red Rocks with the orchestra, always wanted to do it and never even thought it was a thing, but didn't even actually want to do it or know that I could even. So it was like this weird off dream, and then one morning I woke up and I was like, I've got to do it.
Was that with Emancipator?
That was the year before with the band.
Yeah. That was the one I was.
Yeah. So the things like that. For me, it's now that I've done things like shows that I've always dreamed of. I feel like I'm just constantly thinking about little things, and my form of manifestation is just talking about it, telling you about it. I might tell you something today, and then I walk away and I'm like, shit, I should do that, and that's literally it happening. And then because you've told someone, it almost makes it a reality, and then it does come around because you talk about it more, and then it turns into this thing and it happens. So
do you see using your platform for extending any other causes or purposes in life?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a long time, and I mean, in a way your platform does extend a lot of good causes. It creates happiness and collectiveness and friendship, and a lot of people have come to shows and said they meet at my shows, and they're together for however long and still together, and I think that should never be overlooked as well.
That's very true. That's very true. I've never actually heard that answer. So if you feel like that's very true.
Yeah. But no, everything's different for everyone, and I think there's no certain set way for it all. So I think I'll just keep following my nose, and the little things will pop up, and I'll do them.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, man.
My pleasure.
I appreciate that. Yeah.